This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Come find me. You wouldn't believe the love story.
I'd love to. What's your wedding
day?
I'm
reaching my 20th anniversary in a few weeks.
What's your wedding day?
I'll be working here on my 20th anniversary. That's how romantic I am.
This is the plaintiff, Susan J. Gordon. She says she wrote a book called Wedding Days, When and How Great Marriages Began. And every now and then she's Googled herself to see what comes up. She was shocked when the defendant's website popped up, and she discovered 7 of her stories had been quoted. These are creative pieces of writing. No one got permission from her to use them, and after some further research, she found out they ripped her off 29 times. Nothing in life is free. She feels as though she's been violated and is suing for $5,000 for copyright infringement. This is the defendant, Todd Engel. He says his wife is an interfaith minister, and she came across the plaintiff's book and loved it. They cited the plaintiff's name every time they used an excerpt from her, and were of the understanding that's all they had to do. Once the plaintiff complained, they immediately removed her words from their website, even though they were advised they were completely within their rights to use her stuff, and they refused to be bullied into paying for something they legally don't have to. He's accused of being a copycat.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Susan J. Gordon?
Yes.
You are suing Mary Rose Engel and Todd Engel. Mr. Engel, you'll be representing both yourself and, is that your wife?
It is.
Okay. And you have power of attorney to do so. You are suing them for copyright infringement to the tune of $5,000, which is statutory max in New York. You say you're damaged actually more than that because they used 7 of the stories that you have previously published in a book, and they used those 7 stories 29 times on their website. Okay, let's talk. You wrote a book called...
I wrote a book called Wedding Days, When and How Great Marriages Began.
And tell us what the book's about.
It's a collection of hundreds of stories about the courtships and marriages of famous couples throughout history. Famous couples such as John and Jacqueline Kennedy, Napoleon and Josephine, Lucy and Desi, Martin Luther, and Coretta Scott King. It took me over 3 years to write this book.
When did you write the book? When did you write
the book was published in 1998.
1998, and it took you 3 years up to that point, to 98.
It took me a full 3 years of research and writing to collect these stories.
How many stories are in here?
One for every day of the year,
So
and I threw in Adam and Eve
stories.
on February 29th because I just had fun writing what I imagined their wedding day to be like.
Now,
So-
I've read the excerpts of the book that are on your website, and this is so right up my alley, I can't tell you. These short stories. I hate to say bathroom reading, but you don't have to commit a long time. But I know it sounds awful, but you can have it on a cocktail table, and somebody can look at it for just a little bit. You don't have to commit a couple of hours.
And
each one is so enticing because I am so gossipy, and I love hearing these little details. And you've got a picture of the couples. I mean, this is really very enjoyable. Now, you did publish it a long time ago. I imagine that as most books. The sales start to, unless you're the Bible, the sales start to eventually wither, right?
That's normal for a book.
Right, it's very normal, especially after we're talking about 10, 15, whatever it is, years. Now, so right now, if I wanted to buy the book, what's the average price of the book on the line?
The book varies online.
More or
It is
less.
sold by used book dealers at this point.
Yeah.
You can pay $5 and you can pay $170-something. Don't ask me why. You have signed copies.
Or you could pay
unsigned.
90 cents or $1.
You might be able to. However.
Okay, no, I know, because I went online.
Okay.
All right. But, okay. But, so now you published this book about 15 years ago or so, and then you periodically go online checking to see if someone's using the book?
No, I go online as a published author.
And you just Google yourself?
Stories popped up in many different places. Their website had 29 times, sometimes 25, 27, 31.
When you say 29 times, you're not saying because you kept pressing the same page. You're saying
Absolutely
in 29
not.
sites. All right.
Because they
so
kept
now, when
hopping
you find
around.
out that they've used your work, by the way, are they citing to you? Are they quoting you as the author, or are they just using your work?
Yes. They, without permission, which is not following copyright law.
Okay. So when you find out that that they are citing your work, they are giving you credit, but they never asked your permission, what is it you do?
I was stunned.
And then you call them? You reach out to them?
I spoke to my husband, who was a lawyer, although he's not a...
Is this your husband now?
Was
this your husband then?
Lawyer. This was my husband then.
And what kind of a lawyer is he?
Okay, he real estate.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with it, but he's smart. And he also, by the way, happened to help me a great deal with the research because he loved it too. So we contacted them several weeks later by, I would say, early June or late May, I think in June, and asked that they please remove the stories forthwith.
And did they?
And discuss, not entirely, some lingered into June.
Okay.
I don't know why. This all started around May 20th, 22nd.
When were you contacted by her to cease and desist?
I think it was around June.
And what did you do?
We were kind of shocked in the beginning. We were pretty naive about copyright laws, to be honest, Your Honor.
Okay.
I immediately called Mr. Gordon. I apologized, and I told him we would take it down right away.
Did you?
We did, and they are correct. We mistakenly missed one of them.
Okay.
So they asked us that we'd save the files. We did on the server that was there. And that was about what we did. And that was all we could do, was just pull it all down.
What is this site? Tell me what this is.
My wife started a blog in the beginning of the year 2011. The intent of the blog was to educate people on different wedding issues, gay marriages. Also she's an interfaith minister, so a lot of interfaith topics and things like that. It was more for her to just kind of inform the public, and just get used to also doing a blog. We were kind of new to this technology, and she wanted to get new to how it works, how you drive traffic to a blog and things like that.
What kind of traffic did your blog have?
It really doesn't have much traffic at all.
So say you. Show me some proof of what kind of traffic your blog has.
Well, I have the chart for those seven postings, a chart of all the people that did click-throughs through that.
Okay.
Her
So during the whole time, how long did you have her articles up, by the way?
I believe it was at maximum 60 days.
Okay. For those 60 days, or
Right.
more or
From
less.
April 1st to June 24th, we have.
Okay. And you noticed it in May, right? You noticed it in May?
I noticed it in May.
Okay, so for those amount of days that it was up, those 60 days that it was up, that's what you're going to show me? How many people clicked? Okay, that's what I want.
April 1st to June 24th is like 3 months.
Okay.
Not 60 days.
All right, so according to you, in these, and she's right, it's almost 3 months, span of time, how many people hit the articles? And the answer to that is?
154.
154 times. Okay. Why were you thinking this was going to be okay, like just in general, that you could take somebody's work?
At the time, she thought that...
Did you know she was doing this?
No.
What's your profession?
I'm a project manager.
Okay. Why isn't she here?
She's out of the country, Your Honor. She's working for a nonprofit.
Okay. So did you know she was doing this? What was your
No, I
answer?
didn't.
You had no idea. You found out when you're
I found out when I got the letter.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. There is a concept which I'm sure you're both extremely familiar with in the law called the fair use doctrine. Mm-hmm. And let's first state the rule, and then let's state what fair use is. The rule is you can't use other people's stuff without paying them. That's the rule. That's why they copyright their work, because you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to use somebody else's intellectual property. Okay, the exception is if you've used it in a way that the law should look at as fair use. Okay. There are 4 factors that the courts look at, and the 4 factors come straight out of federal law in order to determine if what the purported infringer did was a copyright violation or fair use. Let's go over 1, the purpose of the work. What that means is, the purpose of the use, the purpose of the use. What that means is, was it used in a non-commercial or a commercial setting? In your recitation of the facts, you said on their commercial setting. You said on their website. What is that website? Does she charge for membership?
No.
Does she advertise on it?
No.
Does anybody else advertise on it?
No.
What is the purpose of her doing it?
It's to inform the public about weddings. She's an wedding officiant. So
Okay, so she performs weddings.
Correct.
Okay, does she list her name and her phone number so that you can reach her for her to perform your wedding?
let me just make sure.
Do you have
I do
that?
not see that anywhere.
Do you have any proof of that?
It's on the bottom. Of course, logs are a thing that are updated regularly.
Yeah, it's right there. The website, and is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's you. You're right on there. Your mug is right on there. How do you not know what's on the blog?
Well, no, I know it's on the blog.
Okay. Okay. So that one does not militate towards fair use. Okay. What's the next one? The nature of the copyrighted work. All right. So is this book, Wedding Days, is it fiction or nonfiction? Well, I would hope that it's nonfiction, other than the few times that you say that it's fiction.
The stories are true.
Right. Okay. Now, the nature of work as nonfiction militates more towards less protection for you, because it's not each word is not your art. The stories aren't yours. You don't own them. The stories belong to each of those individual people. You may have done a lot of research, asked a lot of permission, all the other things that you're going to tell me now, but they're other people's love stories. They're not love stories that you made up in your head that then he used. That militates towards fair use, okay? The second part of that is it published or unpublished? This is a published work. That factor, I think, militates towards the defendant and the idea of fair use. The amount of the work used vis-a-vis your work, Wedding Days. You have 365 stories in here. There were 7 stories that were used. That's a small percentage of the book used. I think that factor militates towards finding this to be fair use. And the effect, this is to me the most important one, and this one I want to hear from you. And frankly, I don't normally allow lawyers to speak, but if you want to speak up, I want to give you a chance to do that. So, yeah. The effect of use on the potential market or value of the work. And what that means is, does his using it cut into your income? This is a book that was published 15 years ago. But as most books of this type, in the 15 years, the interest is going to, peter. That's how this works. In fact, I think there's enough love stories out there. You should write another whole 365. Not just change 7. Change a whole 365.
I changed more than 7.
Yeah, come find me. You wouldn't believe the love story.
I'd love to. What's your wedding
day? I'm reaching my 20th anniversary in a few weeks.
What's your wedding day?
I'll be working here on my 20th anniversary. That's how romantic I am. But my husband's actually going to take off and come here and be with me.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, did this chick really suffer any damages?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, and I got no like 5 times. 7 stories out of like 360.
I think my argument is that the same person could have watched that or gone to that site 150 times. She got like 150 views.
Well, only 154 people looked.
So yeah, well, but we don't know.
Are there
unique views.
There are unique views?
Okay,
is it any damage?
54 people.
What's the damage? How much?
I think maybe $10.
$10?
Not even.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
How has this cut into your profit margin?
Well, we want to, Susan wants to control the publicity on doing a second volume, an updated volume. This hinders it. She needs to control all access to these stories. That's why she would not have probably granted a license or permission to run these stories because it wouldn't have done her any good
I don't think that's
economically.
true. I think if they had contacted her and said, we'll offer you a couple $1,000 and we want to give you some advertising, why would you ever say no to that? It could only help you. You don't like that they did it because they did it behind your back. They stole it from you. I understand the frustration that you feel, but you understand that I'm not an idiot. I can't just turn around and say, bad boy, pay her money. Like, I've got to go through the analysis of the 4 factors. The law is we go into all these factors and try to figure out how and why you used it. I'm totally with you that this little, we're just trying to teach people is complete nonsense. They used it for profit. It wasn't, it's not like you, I know it's very important to you and I'm not trying to, but they got 154 hits. She's like, it's kind of like a local thing, really, because who's going to fly somebody into? But whatever it is, and they definitely used it. To suggest they didn't use it for profit is disingenuous. They used it for profit, not very efficiently, not very well, they didn't make much. I don't know that we can, see. I'd like her here so I can ask her how much more business she got as a result of it. We know that they got 154 hits. That's what they got. How much business they got from people reading it, I don't know, but. Since the law is not you used it, you pay her, since the law is how did you use it, why did you use it, how much of it did you use, and what is it and what is your use, in the totality, analyzing this, I am going to find that this was fair use of the thing. And now let me explain something to you. Don't put them back up. No. I can't imagine you would. No. Because they're not playing.
Your Honor. One of the stories that they expropriated and put on their website was about the movie stars Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart.
Why are you going over this?
What really bothered me was because I contacted her publisher, Alfred Knopf, and I asked for permission to put her words on.
With all due respect, we're not covering any new ground here. I understand that you did that.
But they didn't.
I understand that they didn't, and we are done, and I have ruled, and we are done. I am ruling in favor of the defendant in this case. I find it to be fair use. That's my verdict.
Who's the plaintiff after losing this case? Come on in here. The fair use doctrine comes into play. You can step out also next to her. And what's your reaction now coming out?
Look, I had hoped that this would send a message to people who lift authors' work and post them online without permission. There were 2 issues here.
Well, do you think you got your point across?
No, I don't, because fair use is when you take a sentence or 2, not between 2 and 3,000 words, which was what it was extracted from my book.
Well,
that's a healthy amount.
You got a lot of exposure by bringing it into this courtroom.
I'm sorry. I'm very disappointed.
All right. Right down this way. Good luck with the book. Come on in here. You made your mistakes here, and what have you learned?
Well, I've learned that copyright is very important. You have to respect these laws, and you have to educate yourself when you are posting things on the internet. You
were very close to, the decision was tough, and you were very close to getting slammed there.
I feel bad because, we didn't mean to hurt Mrs. Gordon, and she feels very hurt by this whole thing, and it bothers us that she feels that way.
Harvey?
Okay, so the judge talked about this whole thing about fair use. It is very complicated, I'm telling you. And if you end up using somebody else's stuff, and you're doing it commercially, you better check with a lawyer first. This is a very complicated technical area of the law, and you can get in trouble if you don't know what you're doing. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Here, you're not the predator. You're the prey. 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 Prey.
Critics are saying it's epic, stunning, and breathtaking.
Many have come here. None have survived.
Predator Badlands, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+, rated PG-13.
This is the plaintiff, Ryan Benjamin. He says he took his 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee to the defendant's shop for a paint job, and the guy did a shoddy job, to say the least. You could see the old color coming through the new color. He painted over the emblems and left dripping paint on the fenders. The car's one hot mess, and he's suing for the $3,208.23 he paid another guy for the car to be repainted and for his money back on the original job. This is the defendant, Michael. He says the plaintiff purchased a basic paint job on his 10-year-old vehicle, picked it up after the job was completed, and that was that. In fact, he never called to complain, and that's why he was so surprised to receive this lawsuit in the mail. If he had complained, he would have made the necessary fixes to keep a customer happy. He's accused of being a drip.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff had the defendant paint his 98 Cherokee Jeep and says it was a mess. Old colors seeping through new. But the defendant says the guy never complained, so what's going on? It's the case of Jeepers Creepers.
Thank you, Douglas. Ryan Benjamin, you are suing the paint and body shop represented here by Michael, who doesn't want his last name used, or the owner's last name, or the body shop's last name. But you are an employee of the place, right?
Yes.
So you're not actually suing Michael. Okay, so you're suing the paint and body shop represented here by a guy who works there named Michael.
That's me.
What's your job there?
I'm assistant manager.
Okay, for $3,208.23 that you say they owe you for faulty workmanship. Tell me what happened.
In early March of 2012, I purchased a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee, excuse me, in which I needed a little work, a little mechanical work, a little paint and body work. So I did the necessary repairs as far as the mechanical work was concerned, and I pursued to have the vehicle painted. I got estimates from several places.
What were the other estimates like?
Price-wise?
Yeah.
A little higher than the other one.
How much higher?
About $100 to $200 more. I have them in here.
Okay.
About $100 to $200 more. And
so you picked him because he was the cheapest?
Yeah, basically.
All right, and he quoted you $950 to paint the car?
Yes, he did.
All right, and then how did that go?
I delivered him the car, and he took several days, not several, 7. And he called me and said the car was ready to come pick up. I go there to inspect the car, and I didn't like the work.
Why?
So, because there were a number of things that I noticed that I wanted him to correct while I was there. So I left the car for...
Wait, no. Tell me what they are.
Oh, the bottom portion of the car was not fully painted. You can see that it was still brown, okay? Like you can see that the lettering was covered over with paint. You can see that underneath where the wheel wells were, that it wasn't fully painted. So I had brought the car back to him and told him, just touch it up or whatever.
Right.
I'll come back and
they
get it.
said yes. Are you dealing with him the whole time or somebody else?
I don't know who this person is. I've never seen him.
Who are you dealing with?
I'm dealing with the owner. I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name or whatever.
All right, so now you bring it back, you give them time to work on it, they work on it for another 8 days, and then you go pick it up and what?
When I came back to pick up the car, it was not done.
Meaning literally nothing?
No.
Or not done satisfactorily?
Not at all. Not satisfactory
No, but which do you mean?
Not done satisfactory.
Okay, so they did something, but it was unsatisfactory.
Yeah, it was
actually... Do you tell them that?
Yeah, it was worse.
And worse? How?
What they did was worse than what they did
how?
to this one.
I heard that, and I asked the question, how?
They basically let the paint run off the car.
Okay, do you have pictures of everything you're talking about? Let me see the pictures.
It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen these?
No, I haven't.
Did you ever see the car?
Yes, I remember the car being in
All
check.
right, what's your answer to that? Right?
Sometimes when you paint vehicles, you get a little after spray on those vehicles, which is not a problem because that's rubber.
Yeah, but this isn't after spray. This is deliberately painting them. Let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he had a chance to complain about these. He's certainly complaining about them now, so let me show them to you. Is that part supposed to be painted red?
Yeah. Basically, yes. Basically, yes, because that's a part of the fender. This is a part of the fender. This is a part of the fender.
Okay, let me see those. Maybe this one's a better picture of what we're talking about. You know what? I'm going up there, honest to God. It's so much easier if I just get up. I really don't mind. So let me see those. Okay, what is this a picture of?
This is the actual chunk that's raised up, and it shows you where they painted inside the car.
Ooh. Okay, what happened there?
Okay, that's a little paint on it.
Yeah, it's not your best work.
I do. But go ahead.
What's that?
That's inside the car. That's what I'm talking about.
And that's sort of either dripping or kind of lazy and no tape or no whatever it is you'd use, what would you use there? Tape? What would you use to make sure that the interior of the car doesn't get paint
You normally, obviously paint it. You mask
no, but what do? You mask it, right, with tape?
Right, you mask it with tape, yeah.
Somebody there didn't mask anything, or it leaked.
Right.
Or it leaked.
Okay.
Oh, that's not great. And then what is this?
This is the lettering. Remember when I was telling you about the molding? And you can see the brown underneath.
Oh, for the love of all that's holy, the inside of the E's are still brown and the inside of the P is still brown.
This is the emblem for the G.
I know. Maybe you should take it out, paint the car, and put it back in, right? Or if you can't, maybe you should be really careful and not leave. Well, it's not even the masking. It's not even the outside he's complaining about, which you should because the J is red. It's the insides of the E and the P that are still the color of the prior car.
Explain all that.
Off? Well, explain that now. Now's a great time.
Number one. Okay, we understand. We understand.
That's Cherokee.
Right. Well, what's happening is, okay, that's just a small detail. Thinner takes that right off. That'll take 5 minutes to take that off. How many times I have to bring it back for you to? You shouldn't have sent it to him without Thinner taking it off and doing it right. It happens, ma'am. It happens sometime in reference to painting. Sometime that happens, and then plenty of customers come back or they don't come. It's no big thing. It takes 5 minutes to do that. But the bottom line is, we gave him a price, a basic paint. And this vehicle is a 1998 Jeep. So as far as that interior is concerned, it was old, okay? We vacuumed the vehicle out. We don't detail them, we don't shampoo them. We gave him a $900.
I'm with you on that.
A basement price.
Why did you take this picture?
Because they painted the tire.
Again.
You painted the tire?
It happens sometimes.
It happens when what? You have somebody who is sight impaired painting the car? I mean, seriously, come on.
No,
you painted the tire?
Again, that happens sometimes.
Let me tell you how that happens. That happens when you have a tequila in this hand and then the sprayer in that hand. That's how that happens.
So you pay someone $950 to paint your Jeep. Can you expect, or do you have a right to expect, professionalism?
I think you don't, because if you're only paying $950, like...
Really? So basically you're saying you pay somebody accepts to do the job for cheap, they can do a crappy job?
Yeah.
Really? You buy that?
No, I think everyone should do their best job all the time.
And even if it's really, really cheap, they still have to be professional?
Yes.
Fair enough. I think you're right. Going inside the courtroom.
See, what I hear you saying, my dear Mr. Michael, what I hear you saying is, you get what you paid for.
No, I'm not saying that.
You know.
I'm not saying that at all.
Well, let me say this. My grandmother used to say, lo barato sale caro. Do you know what that means?
No.
The cheap comes out expensive.
Right.
And this is one of those cases where the cheap comes out expensive because apparently they resent the price they gave you. They didn't. Your money was green and good when they took it in, but they resent they have to put this much work in it because, hey, you only paid for a $950 paint job, that's what you got. Well, I don't think you got even a $950 paint job because you got to paint over all this. Now you got to fix this. So tell me why they would both return the $950 plus pay the other estimate to repaint your car, net bonus for you, free car paint.
Because they have the Mako that's going to do the job has to strip all of that paint off. They have to strip their paint off and the paint that was on it originally, and then repaint the car. They have to replace all the emblems and all the striping and all that stuff too. If you look at the new estimate.
You can't get both the money you paid him and the money you're going to pay the other guys. You get it, right?
Okay.
That you can't get a completely free paint job. Court is about making you whole.
Okay.
Not about giving you a bonanza. Ching, ching, let the cash register ring. That's not what court's about. Okay. It's about making you whole, putting you in the same position you were in before the bad thing happened. Not making you better off because you're angry or whatever. All right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to award you kind of the way you said it. It's you want the money back you paid them plus what it's going to cost you extra. So really what I'm going to award you is what it's going to cost you.
Okay.
Okay, which will put you in the position that you would have been in. Because even though the man only paid you $950, the poor job that is evidence to anybody with eyeballs that you guys did has ended up costing him out of pocket double that in trying to repair it. And that's what he gets, what you've cost him in trying to repair the bad job. I'm going to award the plaintiff, based on the estimate he provided, $1,959.27. Pay the man.
Well, here comes the paint guy out of here. Come on into the hallway here. The picture showed it. How do you defend that Fugazi paint job?
Well, I'm just going to leave it right here.
Okay.
Good day.
2. So step on in here, and you didn't get everything you sued for, but how about what you did get?
I'm satisfied with it. I mean, she's just, I understand what she meant. So.
All right, Harvey, what do you think?
Well, kind of repeating myself back there, but if you agree to do a job, even if you agree to do it super cheap, way below market value, you have a duty to do it right, and you can't say, well, I did a lousy job because they didn't pay me enough. It doesn't cut it. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Kraft Mac and Cheese is better than 90s hip-hop. We'll remind you of your childhood without making you feel incredibly old. Kraft Mac and Cheese. Best thing ever.
This is the plaintiff, Michael Rickard. He says he was a tenant of the defendants for almost 3 years. And now that he's moved out, the woman's giving him a royal runaround regarding his security and is also charging him some bogus late fees. He's not really one to be confrontational, has had his fair share of problems with her, but is doing things right. And instead of taking the law into his own hands, he's taking her to court. He's suing for $1,584.40, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Corinna Gray. She says this whole thing is ridiculous because the plaintiff was supposed to move out on March 31st and didn't leave until April 4th. The guy was late getting out. He left the place in shambles, and she's not in the charity business, so he has to pay. She's accused of not giving in to a renter.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says he was a good tenant, so what's the deal with not getting his security back? But the defendant says the plaintiff is a pig. It's the case of this little piggy went to small claims court.
Mr. Reichard, you are suing Ms. Gray for $1,584.40 in security deposit and overcharged late fees that you have now realized you paid because your landlord won't return your security deposit, correct? Tell me what happened.
I moved into the house, I contracted to move into the house in October of 2009, lived there for 2.5 years, and decided that I wanted to leave. And Ms. Gray contacted me about when I wanted to leave, and she did it by a text message. And I asked if that was sufficient for me to just send a text message for the 30-day notice to leave. And she agreed to let me go.
Okay.
And then
the 30-day notice was because you were on a month-to-month by then?
Yes.
All right, so then what happens?
Twice I text messaged her and asked her what we needed to do and when we could schedule a final walkthrough, and she never responded to it.
Okay, so then where do you leave the keys?
I just left, locked the door, and she sent a text message saying that she was going to have somebody come the next day and change the locks.
So you didn't need to return the keys, or was it hostile? I don't get it.
She didn't want the keys back. She was changing the locks.
Okay. That's what I would do too. I always change the locks when there's a new tenant because I don't want an old tenant walking in and burglarizing a new tenant.
Correct. I understand that.
Okay. So when do you first learn she has no intention of returning your security deposit?
When she sends me the letter that says this is what the damages are, I'm deducting, and she sent a check with all the deductions, and I sent her a letter back stating that I didn't agree to all that.
Okay. So she sends you a letter. Do you have the letter?
I do.
Let me see it. When did you receive this?
The 13th, April 13th.
So in the back of the form, you wrote a list: cleaning, doors, floors, appliances, fans, blinds, lights, shelves, and windows, $100. Yard, edge beds, weed trim, ledges, rake, bag leaves, $108. Dump calendars at landfill. What's that?
There were about 30 boxes left of calendars in one of the storage, which I had to hire somebody to come in with a pickup, come and pick them up and take it to the landfill.
What kind of calendars?
It was
a gay calendar.
But I mean, happy calendar? What does that mean?
No, it was a Harley calendar. It was for.
Okay, there wasn't nudity.
No.
Okay, I'm just. I was like, I don't know if it's a fireman calendar.
No. It was for Harley Davidson.
Okay, got it.
For Bike Week.
Okay. And you left all the boxes behind?
There were only 10.
10 boxes?
Yeah, they're 12 by 12 boxes. It's a 12 by 12 calendar.
And why didn't you take them?
Well, the day I met her there on April the 3rd, I had a dolly to take the calendars out, and there was a little disagreement, and she ordered me off her property.
Oh. What was the disagreement about? Security deposit?
Well, some damages and some neglect to the property that needed to be taken care of.
Okay. She has on this list you feel that it wasn't left clean enough. The doors, floors, appliances, fans. Did you end up cleaning it, or did you have to hire somebody to clean it?
I had somebody help me because I had a tenant that was supposed to move in on the 1st.
Okay, so did you pay somebody $100?
I paid somebody.
Do you have a receipt for that $100?
I do not have a receipt with me.
Do you have pictures of the doors, floors, appliances, fans, blinds, lights, and shelves and windows so that I can conclude that they needed cleaning?
Yes.
Let me see them.
I would like to see them as well.
Did you take pictures when you left? Okay. What is this a picture of?
Well, I mean, you can see nothing was cleaned, and that was the whole point. I went through and just took pictures of everything so I would know what needed to be taken care of.
These are the boxes we were just talking about?
Those are the boxes, and there's another picture that's going to show it. It's basically, there were about 30 of them, not 10. Yeah.
There's more than 10.
How many are there?
These are 18. It's neither 30 nor 10. And actually, it's closer to 10, just so we're... Just got a close-up of the dirt on the fan. It's pretty gross.
Well, when I moved in, these are the pictures I took. And there's paint cans all through the kitchen that I had to move.
Okay, is it dirty when you move in?
I had to clean the whole house.
Do you sign a lease that says that you're going to leave it clean when you move out?
Once again, the lease was emailed to me.
Did you sign a lease that said,
yes,
I will leave it clean when I move out?
Yes.
Then that's part
and
of
it says there's a checkout sheet, which I never received.
Okay, but did you sign a lease that said that you...
I signed that lease.
Okay. All right. What is this? Oh, let's talk about the overcharged late fee that you're complaining about. In March of 2011, a year earlier,
right,
you had overpaid your late fee, you realized?
Well, what happened was, yes, because she kept charging me $204.70 as an over fee, and I kept asking her, when can I get the refund of the 1 month, because it was actually her bank that had the problem. And we've been talking, this has been an ongoing problem. And I've been asking for this for over a year.
What's the 204.70 for?
I had 2 returned insufficient funds, and my lease states that I have a late fee, I have a bounce check fee, and then if anything that I incur from his check bouncing, obviously those are covered by that.
Okay, so how is it 204.70? Because the lease says it's $95 for the penalty.
Right. 60 is a late charge. 35 bounce check fee.
Okay, so that's a 95.
Right. And then I had my mortgage was late. I had a late fee, and I had a bounce check.
Okay, let me see the proof of your late fee charge and bounce check charge from your bank that would take it from 95 to 204.70. That's what I'm asking.
I'm sorry to say I don't have that.
You're running a business. How are you going to answer the IRS if they ask questions?
Okay, so does a tenant have a duty to clean an apartment before moving out?
Absolutely. If they want their security deposit back, they must clean it before they move out.
Yeah, but okay, here's the argument. So landlords always go in anyway and do extra cleaning. So what's the point? I mean, if the landlord's going to probably go in anyway afterwards, does the tenant have to clean before leaving?
I don't think so. Especially if there is deposit behind it, he doesn't have no responsibility.
No duty to clean. Yeah.
You should return it like how you got it. So if it's clean when you get there, you should leave it.
Is that right? You have to return it the way you got it? Seriously?
I would say if there's major damages, then you'd probably have to pay, but you should typically return it the way it came to you. I would think so.
You know what? I would think so too. Going inside the courtroom.
He's suing you for, he says not only have you stop the clicking of the pen, or I'm going to, okay. Get off this bench and take the pen out of your hands. All right, he's saying 2 things. 1, you're overcharging him by charging him $204.70, and 2, one of them shouldn't even be on him. He should have gotten it back. Did he complain throughout the course of these months that you should have returned the late fees to him because, and this other one, the first time you ever heard this was today in court?
Yes, he actually allowed, I allowed him, when he was late, to deposit the $12.70 in one, and then I waited like 10 days later for him to give the $204, and then he deposited that at a different date.
It was 3 days.
What bank
because
evidence
he didn't have
do you
that.
have? Do you have any bank evidence?
I have these, the insufficient funds.
And why should I believe you that a year later this should be addressed when you, and just trust you when you didn't address it in a whole year.
Sure.
The next month, you would pay the whole rent. You didn't deduct this stuff that you claim you had a right to have now. You never deducted it in a whole year. So you're not acting like a guy who got wronged to the tune of $100 and something bucks.
Right, but I have all the text messages of me asking her and emails. Has it been taken care of?
And this is saying that the fee that you got charged for a bank fee was $8. And you're telling me that his $1,270 stopped you from paying your mortgage? You're going to have to prove that. That you are so fundless that you can't pay your mortgage unless that particular $1,270 comes in. I understand the philosophical concept, but I'm going to need to see that late fee on your mortgage for you to charge it when he's bringing it into dispute. And you kind of knew he was bringing it into dispute. You don't strike me as the kind of woman who forget evidence when I have like 200 and something pictures from you.
I could not get a hold of that evidence.
Okay, well,
because of being online.
So what? Being online, so what? So you asked for it, so you tell them you have a court case.
I didn't have time to have a few weeks to do it.
Gotcha. What bank do you use, by the way?
TD Bank.
They're open on Saturday. That you cannot access.
It's the records they go from 6 months, and then everything goes into
online and
limbo.
From the comfort of your office, you cannot access them, but you couldn't go to the bank and get them?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. You knew that was going to come up. You chose not to bring me the records that are peculiarly within your access to get, especially with a bank that's open on Saturday. And you did not bring it, and therefore I'm going to count that against you. You're able to show a right to $95 then, according to the lease, but not the extra $109, which you charge him 2 times. That's $219.40. Of the fees that you withheld, of the security deposit that you withheld, for damages and cleaning, I agree with you on most everything that's in there, and I think that the charges are pretty reasonable. There's a couple things I don't agree with you on, but it's very little, frankly. You sent them a check for how much again? I'm sorry.
$666 and change.
Okay. So I'm ordering you, based on my calculations, to return a little bit more than that. It's not much more than that, but I am ordering you to return the $219.40. I'm ordering you to give back from the security deposit $700 plus the $219.40 for a total of $919.40. And in favor of the plaintiff, that's my judgment. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have the check that she sent you?
No, I returned it.
Okay.
So over $900 goes back over to the plaintiff's side. Step over here. What's your reaction to how this verdict comes out?
I disagree. I think that it was not correct.
How did you two wind up with all this hostility building up? Things went well for 3 years, right?
Yes.
He was a tenant. What changed? How did this happen?
I think his employment. The bar where he used to be a manager closed down, and his probably had some issues at that moment, and things happened then.
All right, right around the corner there. Your documents are waiting right there. You just head right that way. All right, come on in here. You satisfied with what you get out of this?
Sure.
After all this fighting?
I am.
Well, what do you think changed here? You were a good tenant there, and it worked fine for 3 years. Then?
Well, she's in the foreclosure. She was going in foreclosure with the house is what caused this whole problem.
Harvey?
Okay, well, here's the deal. The reality is security deposit laws in most states, they actually punish landlords. I think it's kind of unfair. And here's why. A landlord has a duty to let a tenant know within 14 days exactly what's being deducted. Now, sometimes landlords do it where they'll call the tenant or whatnot. A lot of times they have to write them, and if they don't write them and give every single detail, they can be socked as much as 3 times the security.